Ambassador to the United Nations has said in an interview that Tehran would be open to a nuclear deal in which it transfers its stockpile of highly enriched uranium abroad. Akansha, this is big statement coming in from the Iran's ambassador saying that Tehran would be open for a nuclear deal.
And absolutely, and this is Iranian ambassador to the United Nations, Ambassador Amir Saeed Iravani, who's told Al Monitor in a written interview where he's saying that Iran is now ready to a nuclear deal and that they are ready to transfer their stockpile, which, as we all know, has been enriched to high levels. These stockpiles you're talking about have been enriched to 60%. And for any nuclear grade weapon, you need 90% enrichment. So this is what the Pentagon Intelligence Agency has also been highlighting, that Iran already has reached those levels. They have enough uranium stockpile to come up with at least quite a few nuclear weapons. And that is a prime concern and was also the motive behind those American airstrikes that took place to destroy the 3 nuclear sites in Iran. But now for this Iranian ambassador to the United Nations to be making these comments goes on to also indicate the willingness of Tehran and the kind of pressure that has been exercised not just by Israel but also by the United Nations, by the United States, which, remember, has been talking about, especially U.S. President Donald Trump, about how they have obliterated the Iranian nuclear sites. So even if they may not have been completely destroyed, the Iranian ambassador to the UN now making these statements is an indication of perhaps the impact that it must have had and how it is going to damage Iran. Iran cannot afford to be impacted because even if it is a conflict that's ongoing, and yes, there seems to be a temporary fragile truce between Iran and Israel, Israel has demonstrated its might, its military might with U.S. assistance, which was not the case for Iran. Remember, Kaveri, because nobody actively stood up or even stepped forward to jump to Iran's rescue when it comes to direct military involvement, whether Russia, China, or even North Korea, their steadfast allies. So Iran knows how isolated it is in the Middle East. Even the other Middle Eastern nations, whether Qatar, Egypt, Bahrain, they are Saudi Arabia and UAE, equally importantly, are all allies to the United States. So Iran is very much aware of its international isolation. The crippling sanctions on its economy have already weakened their economy. Can they afford this conflict? So that statement coming from the ambassador is perhaps from a more mature space and also echoing the larger position of Iran.
Right, thank you, Akanksha. The statement by the Iran envoy echoing the much larger space for Iran.
Network 18 decimates Times Internet with over 6 times more unique users on social media. Network 18, the undisputed leader of news networks, way ahead of the times.